This week on the podcast, we've got 6 awesome guests, plus we're going to talk about Venator that happened the weekend just gone, and the upcoming fight card. Main event is Thomas Almeida versus Cody Garbrandt. It's going to be awesome. Tune in and listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
We're here again for another week, another time to talk about MMA. It's me, John, and I'm with Mike on the phone.
Hello, folks.
There you go. Like I said, we've got 6 guests for you. Woo! 6 guests. Again, you should see the little card pop up in the corner somewhere to go and click if you want to check out the interviews after you've listened to this. Suggest you do. They're awesome interviews. Aljamain Sterling's on, talking about his fight coming up against Brian Caraway. That is a cracking fight, Mike, isn't it? That's going to be a hell of a fight on UFC Fight Pass to watch.
Yeah, that's been in the making. He's been calling out for that fight for it seems like his whole career.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that fight's been made.
Also got Andrea Calais. She came on. We had a chat about Combate Americas, which is on UFC Fight Pass, about how things are going so far with the it looks like it's like a season almost. It's fights kicked off. There's stuff that's going to happen later on in the year. It was great having her on. Sadly, it's not a video recording because she is absolutely stunning. But we've also got Ashley Samples. She's going to be fighting on the upcoming Valor Fights card. Pat Healy, who's going to be fighting on the Titan FC card. Also got Dylan Talbot and Julius Aklikas, who are fighting on the Shamrock FC card. So 6 guests. Great talking to them all. Check them out. I suggest you do now because you will certainly enjoy it. Mike, let's talk about the Venator card that happened this weekend just gone in Italy. First and foremost, we'll talk about the weigh-ins. Luke Barnett was fighting middleweight title, steps on the scales, complete professional, bang on weight. Mayhem Miller, his opponent, comes along, stands on the scales, and I won't lie, he looked alright, in good enough. I thought he was in alright shape. But then, well, he did. He had his abs. He had, a bit of definition going. But then he comes on at 209 pounds.
Yeah. I thought it was 23 pounds over, I believe.
Disgusting. Well, 24. It's a title fight, so 24 pounds over.
Oh, yeah.
And it was absolutely shocking. So what happened was they were trying to negotiate maybe having a fight. He would get a bit of a pay. Luke Barnett would get 30% of his purse, etc. Luke was toying, but then in the end they said no, not having this, and he got a new opponent. Luke did, and he went on and won his fight. Fantastic. Mayhem Miller though got an opponent as well, lost his fight. It looked like Luke looked fantastic in his, and Mayhem Miller looked like he just took a dive in a way. He just fell down, got choked out, and Mayhem Miller is a guy who's got legit credentials in the grappling game. It was just embarrassing.
Yeah, super game. And you think to yourself, like, with Mayhem, obviously, his problems have been very publicised, and, like, I would just wish somebody would, you can drag somebody to every hospital in the world, but somebody has to be ready to, take on their own problems, their demons, so to speak. But, it's, I worry for the guy, 23 pounds, though. That's a crazy miss. I was actually trying to think to myself, is that the biggest miss ever by somebody on a more respected card, shall we say?
I don't know. No, I remember seeing a guy. Who was meant to have a.
No, not Bellator. It was 1FC.
No, it was Bellator. Remember the guy who made it? It was meant to be a lightweight fight, and he came in as a
Yeah, he was against what's his name? Wrestler.
It's going to. Randy Couture's son. Ryan Couture's son. It was Ryan Couture, wasn't it? It was Ryan Couture's opponent.
No. Who she did? Oh Christ, my brain's failing me.
But it was a guy. Remember? Yeah, there was a guy who was meant to do lightweight, and he came in at welterweight or something, didn't he?
Strikeforce.
Mate, at the moment my brain is gone. I can't remember the name. Mike, stop. We'll be there forever. I can't remember. You can't remember. Moving on. We are going to talk about one fight which stood out was the ankle lock monster, which is Palhares, getting finished, smashed, destroyed by Meeked. And, that was like the welterweight title. Palhares basically broke his signed contract with World Series of Fighting because he was suspended, went over to Italy because there's no suspension, no governing body in the whole world to stop him going there. He went there, lost that fight. That really does not help Palhares, Mike, because if he went over there and got a title, at least then he knows he could fight down that promotion, get his name out there a bit more. But losing that fight in the way he did, and Meek just finishing, which looked utterly impressive, it doesn't help him now going back to the States, because they'll say, look, you just lost your stock value, you know, that's just crazy.
Well, I mean, there's not too many promotions where he can basically turn up now.
Yeah.
There's not many hands that will feed him, and not many guys that even want to buy him because of his continued rule breaking. Well, not just rule breaking, but you know, he's a bit of a dick, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's so yeah. His chips are all sort of going into and
going into Venator fight, yeah, and it didn't really work out. It's a silly move in that sense, but at the same time, that is Palhares getting finished like that. Super impressed by Meek. You know, what happens for Meek now? He could be like the face for Venator, could potentially move him to the UFC in the future, because that was definitely, having that win will definitely help him.
It's massive.
Yeah,
massive.
huge win for him.
That will do his career a world of
well, he was on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani as well, so he's getting his face out there a bit more. It's good for him. Let's go now to talk about some of the kind of info and news and gossip. Let's say we had like Belal Muhammad getting signed to the UFC after his absolutely stellar performance against Steve Carl to get the welterweight title at Titan FC. He then moves on to the UFC. Super happy for Belal. Guy is just a great asset for the UFC now. He's a great addition to that welterweight division.
Yeah, very, very well deserved. Like, feel good about it. Like,
yeah.
I'm really happy for the guy.
Yeah, super happy. I'm feeling good for him. Bit of shitty news. Let's put it this way: BJ Penn got pulled from the UFC 199 card. I feel a little bit bummed out about it because Cole Miller stepped up short notice as well because Dennis Seaver pulled out, and now that looks like Cole Miller's not even going to get a fight. But BJ Penn basically broke a USADA IV rule where you can only have it's an IV of 50 mils in 6 hours. You can only have, and be honest with you, BJ Penn didn't know there was a IV ban in place. He said, I'll be honest, I didn't know you couldn't do that when you're outside of the fight.
Yeah,
I knew on fight day.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, I knew on fight day. The weigh-ins, no IV ban. But I was like, if someone's doing it, like, just because he got BJ Penn, how many other fighters are doing it? Who knows? I don't know. There could be a ton of fighters, but
I tell you this much. I honestly believe you couldn't do an IV on the day of the weigh-in. That's how I thought it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I hadn't researched the rule.
Yeah.
But that's what we all led to believe.
Yeah,
so
I that's what I thought. Obviously, there was more rules, yeah.
So, okay, it sucks for BJ Penn and Cole Miller. I feel dead sorry for him.
Yeah.
But I think it had to happen for that, so now everyone knows.
Yeah, it's something that everyone knows, but
imagine if it had been on a smaller card, like a smaller card in Vegas. Or, no, not a smaller card, you know what I mean? But, somebody less known,
yeah.
Who had gone, like, right under the radar. At least, okay, it's shit, but no one's going to make that mistake unless they're making that mistake on purpose.
It tell you what, it does make a big dent in the UFC 199 card. Just for 200, that 99 card, that's a big dent losing BJ Penn, because even though his last performance against Frankie was abysmal, it is still BJ Penn, and it does bring attention. It does bring numbers in.
And also, I don't mean bad to Cole Miller. Cole Miller and Frankie, we'll separate the two there, I think.
Yeah. Look, let's talk now, Mike. Let's say, about Demetrius Johnson. I love the guy. Signs an 8-fight deal with the UFC, hopefully gets paid for it. He's straight up on the UFC 202 card off the top of my head, I think it is, and he's taken on or is it 201? I think it's 202. Yeah, it's 202, I believe. Wilson Reese is the next guy in line to fight. Wilson Reese, to be fair though, he is legit in the top 10 fighter. He's doing well in the flyweight division, but the problem is, I just don't see it going his way against Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, but my question to you is, name a flyweight that you think does have a chance.
No, but what I love is Demetrius Johnson is, the thing is, he's going in and he's literally clearing out that division. He's going in and fighting anyone, and often and regular. He's a champion who wants to beat, he said it himself, he wants to beat Anderson Silva's record anyway.
And he's now hurting and finishing fighters.
Well, he's been doing it, like he did it to, finished,
Well, yeah. I mean,
Huraguchi, Benavidez, John Moraga. He's been finishing fighters anyway. He's not a decision guy. Well, he is decision.
But, I mean, like, he's now. Yeah, he looks like a murderer now. Like, it's.
Well, he's been finishing guys for umpteen times. He's a legit contender, legit fighter, legit pound for pound.
Well, he's the best in the world in my eyes.
Yeah. He's a fantastic addition. And I am super stoked though about that 8-fight deal. The fact that the UFC was smart enough to keep him signed.
Yeah, they're investing in him.
Hopefully they're not going off pay-per-view numbers for him, because it won't work too well. He doesn't get the numbers in, but I'm hoping he gets paid like Holly Holm gets like a lump sum payment. I hope it's something like big numbers. I hope he getting the 6-digit figures, because he deserves it. The dude's kicking ass. He's just doing what he has to, going in and winning. So, Mike,
I'd sooner watch him than most others.
Yes, definitely, Mike. I agree. Mike, let's talk about this fucking awesome Fight Night card coming up. Mr. Cody Garbrandt and Thomas Almeida are the main event. But before that fight, let's work our way through the card on particular fights that stand out to us, and what fights for you, man, stick out that make you go, fuck yes.
Yeah, let me think, right? Okay, right, the obvious one, and it's nice and early, you don't have to wait for it. So if you got work in the morning, don't worry, you can still watch it. Aljamain Sterling against Brian Caraway.
Yeah. That fight,
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, and that's why it's the main. It's the Fight Pass prelim. Like I say, main event or whatever.
Yeah,
what is it they call it again?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
It's the feature fight. That's the word. It's the feature fight on the Fight Pass prelims.
Yeah.
And it's one of them ones where, we spoke to Aljamain Sterling. Like we said, he's on this week's interviews. You can listen to him talk. The dude wants to literally just go in and fight anyone and get to that title shot. And I spoke to him on there about it. I said, you got to look about the fights that have got coming up in your division. Like, that division right now is on fire. Look, they've just recently as well made an absolutely horrendously delicious, sexy fight in Michael McDonald against John Lineker.
Oh, yes.
Like, fuck me.
I agree with you.
Oh, what a fight. Then you've got Dillashaw and Asun Sao. You've got Cruz and Faber. So you got to think those guys around the kind of, and then you've obviously got the main event on his card, particular with Almeida and Cody Garbrandt, and then his fight Brian Caraway. That's 10 guys who are
that's every player in that division is in a real fight-changing fight.
Yes, and that's what I said, if you can have a great performance against a guy like Caraway, like, you can put him away. If you finish him, if you submit him, that will be a lot more powerful because of Brian Caraway's submission success and how good he is at grappling. But also, if he gets a knockout, that will stand out for general purpose kind of thing. Everyone will be like, holy crap, he knocked him out. I think for Brian Caraway, though, because he hasn't been fighting consistently since, I think, like 2014. He's had like one fight a year or something like that. He said it in an interview he said it on the Anik and Florian podcast, Mike, that there's clash of schedules and stuff like that came up. I just feel for Caraway, though, he's fighting a guy who's fighting regular in Aljamain Sterling, who's finishing his fights, and he's, like, in the UFC, I think Aljamain's finished every one of his fights, bar one. I think one went to a decision. I think it's a bigger ask for Caraway to win than it is for Aljamain Sterling. That's why on the odds, it's a huge gap. I think it's too big of a gap, but it's a big gap difference between on the betting lines. I'm going to go with Aljamain here. I just think he is.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They're both very, very worthy, but I agree with you. I think Aljamain's got this one you know, his confidence is sky high at the moment. Yeah, it's. I mean, to be honest, if he pulls out an awesome win, he might actually leapfrog the guys in the main event.
Well, no, I think, Mike, I said this, Garbrandt and Almeida is not a title fight contender shot. They're too early. It's too early for them guys to go up to that title shot. They're still early in their career. They're not even. No, I think it's too early for them. They're just.
Yeah, Alchman's been banging that drum for quite a while now, and I think the winner of this fight. Okay, maybe not the next shot, but
no, Mike. I think it could get the next shot if the right performance is there. If you make the statement,
if somebody goes out and sort of starches or you know, like really set, you know, the press on fire.
Yeah.
Then you know,
I think it could happen.
Well, what I'm saying is it also depends how the DJ fight goes down.
It does, yeah, it does. But let's move on then, Mike. Next fights. What fight for you on that card do you go, fuck yeah, I can't wait for this?
Well, I love, again, might pass by some people, but I love watching Eric Koch.
Yeah. Well, he's not fought since 2014. He's been out for a while, so it's going to be... I'm curious to see what Eric turns up, really.
Yeah, you know, I mean, when he's on, he's really on.
Yeah. He's fighting Shane Campbell, so just putting out there as well. Yeah, Eric, it's 155 division. You know, you can get forgotten in the 155 division very quickly.
Because there's so many of them.
So many. You lose one fight, you just drop out. You know, and it's certainly one of them ones. I look forward to the fight in the sense of I'm interested to see how Eric comes back and what kind of Eric we see. Shane himself, at least he's been fighting regular. Again, it's almost like a Caraway situation because you know if you're not getting 2 years out, that can take a toll. That can make a difference in that ring rust. I know Dominic Cruz says no such thing as ring rust, but some guys they do get it. Some guys get out that rhythm, they get out that mojo, they get out that flow. It can happen. Mike, what else sticks out for you in that card? Any particular other fights then working your way up?
So I am very curious to see what Sarah McMahon's been doing since she's been away. I've been very surprised with how she has very, very little skill off the back.
You mean since the Miesha Tate fight? Well, yeah, you got Sarah McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, fighting Jessica Eye. And for both of them, Miesha Tate and Amanda Nunes was the last two fights that Sarah McMahon had. You know, so she's lost 2 in a row, but the 2 girls she's fought are fighting each other for the Bantamweight. Not fighting for each other for the title, but they have the title fight at UFC 200. So it's not like Sarah McMahon's lost against, say, girls who are ranked in the top, like 10 to 15. She's exactly, Mike. So it's hard, but I'm not saying it's a pink slip fight, but it potentially is a pink slip.
And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't, but it could be because, like for example, Jessica Eye, she lost to Miesha Tate and Juliana Pena. So they both lost 2 in a row. Juliana Pena's fighting Kat Zingano. Is that a contender shot fight? You know, is that a more contender fight? Who knows? So again, it's one of those situations where you think to yourself,
it also comes down to how they win and lose. You know,
it does. I don't know if it's
that plays a big part. If they go out there and have a barnstormer and it's a close fight, you know, I think they can both be safe.
I think they could both be safe. It's a tough one, but we'll see what happens in that fight. I'll tell you one fight, Mike, I'm looking forward to, but I don't know if I'm looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to it for one reason. Paul Felder's fighting, ladies and gentlemen. The dude brings a fight to the game. Like when he just steps in, he doesn't back off. He just goes and hits and swingy and spinny kicks, spinny stuff. He's fighting though Josh Berkman, who fought KJ Nunes. Won his fight against KJ Nunes, who got cut. I think KJ Nunes, it was an ideal opponent for Josh Berkman to get back in that win column. But going down a weight class in your latter stages of your career has not always been the best thing for some fighters. I just think that Paul Felder, who's also been working with Mark Henry, who is a magician of a striking coach. I think we might see Paul Felder dethrone Josh Berkman, and in a way that will impress people. It will be like everyone will go, holy shit, Paul is back with a bang, and that's what I just feel in this fight.
Well, didn't Paul get a submission in his last fight?
But it was against Dan Cruikshank, who got rear naked choked by everyone and never learned from the first time he lost it and just got choked out every time.
What I mean is the thing was is with Paul Felder.
Yeah.
I mean, he openly admits that his complete MMA skills are still fairly raw. I mean, don't get me wrong, his striking is pinpoint and fantastic.
Yeah.
But he openly admits that his submission game is growing, shall we say.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So it was nice to see a variant on his record, that submission game. So it just make people wonder, like, okay, so he's clearly got something now.
Not really, Mike. I think when you see like that, well, yes and no, because I think it's MMA. Everyone knows what they're doing.
I wasn't expecting to sort of go down that jiu-jitsu route.
It won't. No.
An accomplished MMA fighter.
It will stay standing. I don't think you sit there now and go, oh no, he's a submission man. You look at who the submission he had, Mike, and who it was against.
It was a submission man, but
it was the fact that Darren.
It was good to see him pick that up, though.
It was, but at the same time, Mike, like I said, it was against Cruikshank, who had been rear naked choked, 2-3 times in a row. You think to yourself, if it had been another opponent who hadn't had that issue, I think it would have been a bit more impressive. It was the fact that it happened. Was Cruikshank maybe just looking for that way out? Possibly, probably.
Well, do you know what? It hurts a hell of a lot less than getting chin across the chin.
It does, exactly. So look, next fight, Mike, and what fights after that? I think for me, I'm going to stick it out there. If you don't say it, I'll be absolutely stunned and shocked. Jorge Masvidal, Lorenz Larkin. Holy shit!
Exactly. Lorenzo Larkin, I love him at welterweight.
It's the weight class for him. He looked super duper impressive going down a welterweight. It was the ideal weight class. I know he lost a split decision to Albert Tumanov, but
at
the same time it was
available for the first couple of rounds, really.
It was a hell of a scrap. It went a split decision, but I just think it does suit him at 170, Lorenz Larkin. And I feel though, Masvidal, he's got a tough fight in his hands. I see this definitely for me as Lorenz Larkin's chance to win. I think his variation in the striking will just catch Masvidal out. Even though Masvidal is tough as coffin nails, I can just see Lorenz Larkin getting this win.
And am I right in saying he's not been up welterweight all that long?
Who? Masvidal? No. He's only done it 2 fights. 2 fights he's had. He fought.
Yeah.
He beat Cesar Ferreira, who came down from middleweight, and then he beat. Oh no, he lost. Sorry, he lost to Benson Henderson at 170.
Yeah.
So I losing, ladies and gentlemen, losing to Benson Henderson isn't. Benson Henderson is a legit contender, and the thing is, it wasn't really. It was almost like 2 lightweights that didn't cut when you think about it with that fight. But yeah, I love that fight. If that has got, for me, you've got that fight is penned for potential fight of the night. In my opinion, in my eyes, I think I can see I don't know about you. I can see a potential fight of the night with them too.
Yeah, it's. I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of other fights out there that just maybe looking forward to slightly more. But it's a very good fight on the card.
Well, look, next fight up, Mike. I want to quickly mention Tarek Safadine got medically cleared. I don't even know if it's been disclosed yet what the potential injury was, because at first I thought he was off the card. Now he's back on, medically cleared, all that sorted. He's fighting Rick Story, who's not fought since he beat Gunnar Nelson in 2014, because he had a bit of surgery, rehab, recovery, all that palaver. But again, that is a 170 bout that's just got violence. It's just got violence written all over it. Again, another potential fight of the night, Mike.
Yeah, it's Rick Story. He's very good at
swinging.
Him and his camp are very good at finding a way through a fight.
Yeah.
getting a game plan that works and sticking to it.
Yeah.
Which is obviously what they did against Gunner.
Yeah, it worked spot on with Gunner, yeah. The wrestling was just spot on. It was just well worth fight, yeah.
Yeah, and with Tarek Safadine, I believe he was the last title fight in Strikeforce.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, we're going back a bit there, but that's a bit too far back. It's a bit too far back, Mike. But go on.
Yeah, to me, he hasn't shone as brightly as I expected him to do when he came to the UFC.
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. It's a fight. It's a fight I'm looking forward to. But
I think it's a fight everyone's looking forward to. Let's be honest. I think when you hear Rick Story's fighting, you get excited because it's Rick Story, because you know Rick Story's going to fight. If Tarek Safadine's going to fight, you get excited because Tarek Safadine's going to fight. Because you know what Tarek Safadine can do.
Yeah.
But Mike, let's go to the next fight then.
Oh yeah.
You got to talk about Jeremy Stevens and Renan Barão as well on that card.
I know.
So many questions in this fight.
That's what I was going to say. You've got somebody coming down in weight, to fight somebody coming up in weight.
Well, you say coming down. He's been down a while. He fought. He's had 4 fights down at 145 now. Jeremy Stevens. He's holding that. He's not done it once. He's done it 4 times.
He's not the smallest featherweight.
He's not. But the thing is, speed is what kills.
Oh yeah, totally agreed.
Jeremy Stevens, when he gets beat, he's just getting outstruck because the guys are so quick and dynamic at getting in now. Stevens has got that power. He just can't get guys. He just can't catch them.
Yeah, he can get hold of them.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Renan Barão, it's like, is he damaged goods now?
Well, there is the damaged goods question, because how many of those years of weight cuts, because apparently it was a hell of a cut and a hell of a time to struggle to get down to 135, how much has that taken out of him? How much has the absolute schooling that he got in the TJ Dillashaw fight done to him?
Yeah.
But then again, he's going up, fighting at 145. Will his body feel better? Will he feel fresher? I think he might do. I see Renan Barão winning this fight because Renan Barão has got that dynamic strike in which I think is just going to, again, it's kind of like the Cub Swanson fight. Jeremy Stevens just couldn't get his head around it. He just couldn't.
When Jeremy Stevens throws, will Renan Barão be there?
Yeah, that's the problem, yeah. And that's what I think. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, folks, Jeremy Stevens could throw one and that you could be done. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So, what's Renan Barão's psychological side gone? That's the thing, it's so much of this comes down to the psychological side is massive in the fight game.
Yes.
And Renan Barão, that seemed to be broken in the last fight. And
yeah.
I'm interested to see if it's just a TJ thing or whether he's, damaged goods on the fight side.
Yeah.
In general.
Now, the main event, Mike. Big, huge fight. Main event. Thomas Almeida, Cody Garbrandt. It's literally got violence written all over it. The pair of them have... Every fight they've had, they've finished bar 1 each. So, you statistically cannot... I feel, though, Mike, they've got to... I freak out a little bit because I think, are they going to cancel each other out and go decision? I'll be gutted if they did. I just... can't see it though. I see a finish. It's going to be epic. It's a tough one on because I feel for Cody, he's still in that developmental stage. He's 8-0, but the thing is, you look at the guys he's fought in the UFC. He's fought Marcus Brimage, Brian Briones, how the fuck you pronounce that? And then he had a short notice against Augusto Mendes, who stepped into the UFC, who had no striking. He was just a world-class jiu-jitsu fighter. And to be fair, he finished them, but they're not bantamweights that you sit there and go, awesome, they're amazing. Brimage got cut. I just don't know. In that sense, I feel like Cody might still be in that developmental stage. You've got Thomas Almeida, Mike, who's had a hell of a lot more than twice the fights. He's also fought Brad Pickett, as we know, Mike. He fought Anthony Burchank, who's a legit fighter as well. Yves Jabron, he's fought good guys in the UFC so far.
Yeah.
I'd say more veteran and more knowledgeable for guys. He's got some good finishes. I'm not saying Cody can't win. I just think Almeida's so wild with his striking. Cody is a very straight cut with his striking. I just feel Almeida might get the finish because of his wild striking. But then again, for me, Cody's got such good fundamentals. It could be an absolute problem for Thomas Almeida in the latter rounds.
I mean, I honestly believe Cody's got this one. I like both guys. I think both guys have got a fantastic future.
Yeah.
And I don't think this hurts either fighter, I think both can grow from this fight.
Yeah.
But I think Cody's has got this one. I mean, one thing the Brad Pickett fight did tell us is that Thomas can get hit and can get hit a lot. And Cody, I think he will land, and he will land often and hard.
Yeah, that's why I think, for me, I got Thomas Almeida winning the first half of the fight. When it gets to first 2 rounds, it can be Thomas Almeida to win. Thomas Almeida, that's his opportunistic moment to win that fight. It's the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then when it goes to
obviously it's a 5-round fight.
Yeah, exactly. So when it goes to 3 to 5,
a lot of opportunity to damage.
Yeah, I just think Cody's damage in the first 2 rounds, if it goes to the 3rd and 5th, will have a toll. And secondly, the fundamentals will start to take a factor. The basics that Cody does, the good boxing that he has, I think that will start to wear on Thomas Almeida, whereas the flashy, kind of wild, crazy shit that Thomas does, that's the things that will catch you out in the earlier rounds.
And also Cody, I mean, obviously he hasn't fought Thomas before, but Cody, he doesn't take a lot of punishment, he doesn't take a lot of shots.
No, he's not fast, Mike. The reason is, Mike, he's not fought the guys of high enough caliber.
That's why I mentioned he hasn't fought Thomas.
He's not.
It's
like, you got to think, Mike. You got Anthony Birchang, Brad Pickett, Yves Jabron, like those guys in their own right.
They're different caliber.
Yeah, they're already a different caliber from the 3 fights that Cody's had, and so they were more likely to catch Thomas Almeida. You think if maybe they fought Cody, would Cody have got hit more? Probably. Probably it would have. So.
But I think we'll meet the judges in this one. No, I don't. I think the judges can start drinking.
Yeah, I think.
Fight.
I honestly, I think Thomas in the first 2 rounds, and then Cody onwards will get the finish. It's just, I just see that it's going to play out that way. But then again, odds are Cody will go in, hit him once, and knock him out, and I'll just be sitting there going, "Oh bollocks."
I don't think we need rounds 4 and 5.
No, it's MMA. It's MMA. Anything happens. It's going to be awesome card, though.
I think this could be over before the championship round.
It very well could be. Absolutely, I agree with you, Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our podcast this week done, Mike. That's us. We've finished. There's nothing else to talk about. Well, there is other stuff, but that's it for now. Next week, we'll be back with some more faces, new guests, chit and chat, and also we'll be talking about the results from this weekend. And you've also got another pay-per-view coming up because you've got the Rockall Bisbing card. So we'll talk about that, Mike, next week. Yeah?
Sounds good.
Pow. Goodbye, folks.